episode number 2, and I told you guys we're gonna come with bars, we're gonna drop knowledge. We're entrepreneurs in this building. I got my boy Michael. He just started his new venture as an electrician. He just created his own corporation. He wanted to break off and, start his own business to become his own, entrepreneur and be able to take care of his family. So what got you started in the electrician field, bro?
Honestly, I was working in a warehouse before. I was making minimum wage. I was working, 8-hour days, full-time job, and it just wasn't doing it. Like, it was a job. I wanted a career, and my stepdad actually had someone that he was a teacher with the union. And he recommended that I sign up for them. So I signed up. It took about like 2 years to hear back from them. And once I did, it was in the perfect time. Like, my wife, she was pregnant. Just like everything worked out just in the right time. And I went in, I signed up, I got in, and I got into an apprenticeship. It was a 5-year apprenticeship that I did. And I was working and I was going to school twice a week. And I was getting, knowledge on the job. Before this, I never really touched a drill before, like I didn't know how to use power tools or nothing like that. So it was different for me, but I liked it. I mean, I liked doing it, and it's just something new every day, like you're not just sitting in the office on a computer, you're out in the field, you're just doing different stuff and learning stuff. Like, I like doing something that not everyone knows how to do,
So you mentioned that you started working in a warehouse and then you transferred into becoming an apprentice for 5 years, but what was the job you were doing in the warehouse?
I was doing shipping and receiving, so I was pretty much like the picker. So I would just go down the aisles. They give me a list. I go down the aisles with that list and just pick parts. Boom, boom, pick parts. Once I finished my list, I would go to like the guys that kind of packaged it and just do that. It was an easy job. It was a chill job. I just put my headphones in and just cruise. But like, there comes to a point where you want to make money and you want to do better than that. So that's kind of how I started off. And then once I got into the union, it was on from there. Like, never looked back, never missed anything I did back then. It was just all uphill from there.
Okay, so you did the shipping and receiving, then you transferred to union and you went to school, did all of that. What made you want to start your own company?
Man, there's a couple of reasons why I wanted to start my own company. I mean, nothing like being your own boss, setting your own schedule, starting whenever you want to start, getting off when you want to get off. That was one reason. And then another reason was I wanted to make my own money. I didn't want to make someone else money. Like, there's money to be made out there, and you got to go get it. And I mean, so much money out there to be made, and that was another reason why. I just I want to be my own boss and have my own schedule, and I have good workmanship, craftsmanship. I take pride in my work, and I have that good training from the union that taught me, and I bring that to the jobs. I bring that to my customers, and I enjoy it. I enjoy it way better. I'm not waking up at 3, 4 in the morning no more. Like, I'm making better money, and I'm learning a lot more too to the business side of things. Because when you're working for someone, you're not dealing with the business side. You're just waking up, going to work your 8 hours, 10 hours, whatever, and coming home, and that's it.
My first legit job where like I had a W-2 and I was getting paid checks was actually the Bagel Shack. There's the Bagel Shack here in town. Yeah, right down the street. There's another one in San Juan. And then, it's like a little franchise joint. And, the one here in town, it's cool because it's right down the street from the beach. So during the summertime, bro, all the hottest chicks would pull up with bikinis and, hit up the Bagel Shack. They got the best bagel sandwiches. So for me, when I was, working at the Bagel Shack, I was there full time, but it was really a part-time job because it was a morning brunch restaurant. We would close at I think 1 o'clock. So, I would have the rest of the day to myself. And at the time, I was actually training MMA because I wanted to become a professional fighter. So it was like that was my lifestyle at the time. But, there's not a lot of money, getting into it as a new fighter, and, you got to worry about insurance and getting injured. And so to me, I'm a third generation barber. So, barbering has always been, part of my blood, of my family. My grandfather was a barber, and then my uncles. So through my mother's side of the family, they were all barbers. But when I was living like in Redlands, San Bernardino at the time, we used to pull up to the barber shops, me and my boys, deep, and get fresh haircuts every week or every other week. Because at the time, we were still in high school, so we didn't have money. Like, we just had allowances. So, every other week we would pull up, but we would try to pull up as much as we could, with the money we had saved up. And I remember seeing like barbers with wads of cash, bro, just pulling it out and like seeing like, just the big wads of cash. And, they were doing like the best designs, and it was very artistic. So to me, like, I like art, did a little graffiti back in the day before I got on probation, and then I stopped real quick. But I've always been very artistic, you can see it on the sleeves, like my tattoos. Like I want to be covered with tattoos eventually. So I would look up to him, man. So I started looking up barbers on YouTube and how to cut hair, because at the time, like, barbering wasn't popular. It wasn't cool to be a barber because that was before social media blew it up. But I knew that, this could be a way, an outlet to start my own business. So, I started going to seminars. I started meeting the best barbers in the game from all over the country. I started just studying them and started practicing daily, like on my nephew. He was my first, client that I practiced on. And then all the little kids in the neighborhood, I would just chop them up for free. And then eventually I started charging like $5 a cut to like $10, $15. And then, eventually I just went up to a shop here in town, man. I just went up and I asked to talk to the owner. Me and him, we started talking, and he told me to sign up to barber school. And the following week, man, I was already enrolled. I was hungry. I was fired up. I was like, man, this is like, I was all in or nothing, I did the whole barbering school, the apprenticeship school. It took 2 years. Got my license. I was already filled with clients by the time I had my license because it was an apprenticeship course. So, I was working at the barber shop while going to school. So, yeah, when I got my license, I was already set with clients. So I was already booked out, but it comes with hard work and consistency, because at the beginning, like, I didn't have any clients, just my boys. Stepping into a barber shop as a new barber is different than like cutting in your garage, because you know all your boys and you've been cutting them for a while, and you're comfortable around them. But like when you're with new faces and it's like a shop full of people, and you got to perform in front of everybody, like it's a little nerve-wracking, So, I've messed up a couple cuts, but that's how you learn, is through trial and error. And so once I got my license, I waited about 2 years before I opened up my shop at age 25. You had mentioned that, you wanted to become a business owner because you can make your own schedule and have more control of your life. But like sometimes it's like the opposite. I mean, yes, of course you could, but you have so much more responsibility that sometimes you're forced to even work longer hours. It's not like just showing up and getting to work, but it's also, handling all the stuff in the back end, like the accounting, getting the bills paid, getting the utilities paid, getting the rent paid, getting supplies paid, making sure, your employees are good. How are you handling that as a business owner?
Business side, you're dealing with, like customers, you're dealing with pulling permits, you're dealing with estimates, invoices. Like there's a lot more to it on the business side. You're dealing with contracts, and it's a different game. It could be stressful, it could be overwhelming, but I feel it pays off. And this is what I want to do, and this is what I got to do. Support myself, support my family, and yeah, I mean, I'm enjoying it so far. Yeah, definitely. You're working long hours. Like there's times I'll be working. I'll get up, go to work 7, and I'll work whatever 8-10 hours, and then I'll have to go give 2-3 customers estimates on jobs, and then come home and search all the material, come up with a number, and it's a lot of work. I mean, it could be stressful, it could be overwhelming big time, and you just got to push through it. Like, it is what it is, you know, this is what you want, and you got to put in the work to get results, you know. Like, if I'm not out there giving customers estimates, if I'm not doing the work, then like work's gonna stop, and it's that's not what I want. Like, eventually I want to be at the point where, yeah, I got people handling all my stuff for me. I want to learn my business, and you know, I want to learn the business part of it. But it is long hours, it could be stressful, overwhelming, but I just, you know, push through it, and I got support at home from my wife, you know, and you know, it's something eventually, like, if my kids, you know, if my son wants to get into it, I want to have that business to, you know, hand over to him or get him into it. And same with my daughters, if they want to work, like, you know, like in the office part of it, or even be electricians. But yeah, it's stressful. I mean, that is true what you said. Like, people think you're a business owner, so you don't work a lot, but it's actually the opposite.
So for me, I've been a business owner for already 6 years. I opened my barbershop in 2018. No partners, no investors. I was 25 years old, and I took that risk, and without knowing, like, you know, like what I was really getting myself into. But, you know, I saw a couple barbers that I was working with that had opened up their own shops, and I saw them, the stress that they were going through. So I already knew, like, okay, I'm seeing how they're operating. Guys coming in, like, the city's so hard. Getting your city permits is a pain, and so much stress that comes with that. So seeing them kind of helped me know that, like, that comes with becoming a business owner, like the city business licenses, contractors, permits, like everything that comes with opening up a barbershop, to looking for a location to lease, and dealing with the landlord. To me, it was just taking everything step by step, and life is supposed to push back on you, you know, like, it's not going to happen on the first time, the second time, the third time, even the fourth time. Shit, it might not even happen on the 100th time, but if you keep going and don't give up, eventually you'll be able to lock in a spot. So, you know, as a 25-year-old, the landlords look at me and they're like, man, like, bro, like, you too young to open up a shop, you know, like, because I'm competing against existing tenants that want the same spot. So as a landlord, you got to put yourself in their positions. Like, okay, do I pick the 25-year-old kid that doesn't have any business experience as an owner, or should I pick the older guy that already has proof of concept with his business? I knew that I had to leverage myself to be able to compete with people that wanted the same spot. So I hired, like, business consultants to write me up, like, business plans. I hired leasing consultants also to help me negotiate the best deals, because, you know, I read books on, like, commercial leasing and how to, you know, sign the best lease and the best negotiations. Like, one thing, I'm gonna give you guys a bar that I learned from reading books and studying and, like, entrepreneurial books, is that if you don't know what you're doing, hire someone, hire a lawyer, hire a consultant, hire somebody that can put you in the right spot. I came up with the best business plans, the best leverage to be able to outcompete the other people that wanted the same spot, man. So that was a really good feeling, you know, because, like I said, it was hard. Like, I went through, like, almost like 9 different locations, but from here to, like, Irvine and in between, every plaza, I went through every plaza. I wanted my first one here in town. And the crazy part is that I used to get haircuts in high school right across the street from here, literally right across the street from my window in my shop, Jerry's Barbershop. I used to get haircuts there. When I would get haircuts, I would notice this building, not knowing years later this would be my barbershop. And it's crazy how life works. And I remember going to barber school. I went to barber school in Downey. So I would drive on the 5 freeway and I would notice this structure, this building that had the big American flag. And it stood out because it had the big flag right next to the freeway. It had pictures of babies. They sell like baby products. Yeah, food for like toddlers. So when I was working with, negotiating on this lease as the landlord, they're like, oh man, this kid is young, bro, but he's hungry. He wants it. He came more prepared. When I went to go sign the lease for this shop, it was in that building where the flag is. Seeing like signs. I remember that building, and then in high school I used to get a haircut right across the street from my shop. It was meant to be, that's how I felt.
What was this shop before?
This was in a accounting office, and then 2 doors down was a salon. It would have been easier because it was already licensed for that business. All the hassle from like city licenses and permits and all that, all the stress and the money. But to me, we're literally in the center of the intersection, and we're literally in front of that shop. So if anybody's going in that shop, they're gonna see my shop too. And even though it was 2 doors down, we're like in dead center of the intersection where everybody can see us, because 2 doors down, there's a little like blind spot from certain angles on the intersection. So to me, I was like, nah, I want this one. And when I was negotiating the contract for this spot, they wanted me to take that one, but I was like, nah, I want this spot. And if you guys don't give it to me, like, I can just go somewhere else. And then so they were kind of, still playing hard to get. And then I just dropped it on them, bro. I was like, hey, I'm giving you guys bars, because this is like what I went through. So you guys can learn from this. But I told them, I was like, hey, you have, because they were taking like 2 weeks to respond to me. And I was like, one day I was just like, you know what? I was like, I emailed the managers. And I was like, you have till tomorrow, 12 o'clock to give me an answer. If not, I'm walking away and I'm going to go look for a different building. Next day, 12 o'clock hit. Boom. They sent me an email, man. Hey, the landlord approved you. Come sign the lease. And that's how I did it, man. That was crazy. So what's your plan with your business? Because it's a new venture. Like, where are you now with your business? And where do you see it like 5 years from now?
Yeah, right now I'm just a one-man show pretty much. I do all the work. Like, I'm the owner operator, so it's just pretty much all on me. Eventually, like my next step, I want to get a van. Right now I'm just working out of my RAV4, so it gets pretty packed in there. I want to get a van. I think it's a little more. You all right over there?
I went down the wrong part.
Yeah, that almost happened to me too. But I want to get my own van, and I feel it's a little more professional rolling up on a job in a company van, And then I want to hire on some people, like I want to hire on maybe another hand to help me out. Have people like eventually have like an office. Have people working in the office, scheduling for me, kind of getting estimates ready for me, pulling permits for me, doing all like the paperwork and kind of that side of things. And I kind of want to focus more on marketing and bringing in work for my guys to keep them busy. They make money, I make money. And then in 15 years, man, I eventually want to be off the field. I don't want to work on the field the rest of my life. It's pretty labor intensive. I'm up and down ladders. I got big heavy tool bags. I'm crawling through attics. I'm in trenches. I'm digging outside. So it takes a toll on your body. And I'm only 32, and I feel it. I can't imagine being 60 doing this, and like 30 years from now, like my body would be broken down. I don't want to be one of those guys that's had like a bunch of surgeries and barely able to walk. And so I want to eventually be out of the field and just have guys working for me and kind of checking up on them, and just have guys I could trust and I know that do good work, and could just trust them. All right, here's the job, go do it, and kind of they take care of it. And that's where I want to be, like with my company. I do want to grow and expand, and it's just hard to take that next step, which is like hiring someone. But I know once I take it, I probably won't regret it, because I didn't regret this step that I took on starting my own business. And because I was on the fence for a long time, I was like, oh man, do I want to stay working for the union, working for someone else? It's easy, I wake up, go to work, come back home, and that's it, But I took the step, and I don't regret it. And it's a journey, definitely. I'm curious to see where it's going to take me. I mean, I hope I become a freaking billionaire, just like anyone else. But what about you? You want to be cutting hair the rest of your life, or what's your plans in 15 years?
Yeah, so me, when I first started cutting hair, man, I was so passionate. I was passionate about cutting hair. As a matter of fact, I got it tattooed right here on my arm, Barber Life. Because to me, I wanted to be a barber forever. That's all I saw myself doing at the time, was cut hair and open up barbershops. When I had my first shop, man, we killed it. Everybody in town knew who we were. We were the busiest shop, So I opened up my second shop. 2018 was when I opened my first one. Then I opened my second one during COVID a couple years later. But you know what they say, for every new level, there's a new devil. The way you're going to operate one shop is not the same way you're going to operate two shops. That transitioning was different. The reason why I became a barber was so that I can become a business owner and breaking the family curse. Nobody in my family has ever been a business owner, so I wanted to be the first one. But to answer your question, I don't really cut hair as much anymore. I'm here probably I would say 40% of my time, but I'm usually cutting celebrities up right now, NFL players. I'm cutting up, Batman Kevo. I got Penei Sewell. He's a first-round draft pick with the NFL. And I'm cutting a lot of content creators. Aiden Ross's security. And I'm tapped in with so many. There's a lot of them to name. I also have a lot of rich clients that, pay me good money. I'm not going to be cutting hair for the rest of my life. And I never wanted that for myself. So I don't see myself cutting hair anymore past this year. I might open up a couple other shops because we're in the transitioning phase of restructuring the companies so that we could have a solid foundation structure to be able to have a good blueprint for the franchise play. So I have a lot of people that are helping me with that are coaching me and mentoring me throughout that process. I've learned so much, man, and I was so young when I opened up my barbershop. I've grown a lot as a person and as an entrepreneur, and I'm seeing bigger things, bigger plays, and I want to be able to, start investing in real estate and right now I'm on my content, so I want to do a lot of that. Sky's is the limit, man, but it's all about growth. With growth and experience, man, you're going to eventually keep rising and keep leveling up. I have a lot of things in the works and a lot of things that I'm going to be launching soon. The most important part is read books, work on yourself, stop partying, invest your time wisely, and, just make sure you position yourself, man, because, life flies, man. Life flies, and before you know it, man, you're going to be old and, hopefully set for when you're retired, because, with the inflation and everything going on, especially right here in California, it's so expensive that you always want to be educating yourself to be able to make more money and produce more money to be able to take care of your family better, So we're right here in South Orange County. There's a lot of money. There's a lot of mansions. There's a lot of affluent communities, private communities where the rich and the famous come out here, and they buy $30 million homes, $60 million homes, $100 million homes. Have you ever worked at any like celebrities' houses or any rich people's homes? What was the craziest house that you did work in?
Yeah, there's a lot of those homes around here. I mean, I've been one of the homes that I remember was in Laguna Beach. It was like a $6 million home. Beautiful home, overseeing the ocean. And I don't know what the guy did. He was an older guy. I usually like to ask my customers that have real nice homes, hey, what do you do for work? But I've worked in multi-million dollar homes. Anyone famous? Not that I know of. No one really famous, but I've worked in, lawyers, homes, attorneys. They got to be doing something right to have those big homes. But yeah, most of my work is residential. I do commercial. I was brought up doing commercial. So I do commercial, but mostly down here it's residential where the money's at. So I try to stay close to home, South Orange County. If the job's right, I'll travel. You could check my Instagram out, Capistrano Electric. That's my company name. You could check my website out. It's capistranoelectric.com. And company logos right here. Info's on the back with my number on it. Yeah, so I mean, we do everything from, I do panel upgrades, lighting, troubleshooting, fans, plugs, switches. EV chargers is a big thing right now. Do EV chargers. Yeah, man, I do mostly everything that's electrical, except for kind of low voltage stuff. But yeah, if anyone needs any electrical work done, hit me up through my Instagram or give me a call at my number. My number is 949-244-2185. And I also want to give a shout out to Alex for having me on this podcast and advertising my business. I've been coming to Alex for haircuts for a long time now. Before he owned his shop, and he's always taken pride in his work. He gets down. He's top-notch barber. He best fades in Orange County. I don't let anyone else cut my hair. He always does a great job when he cuts it. I'm never displeased or nothing. It's always, I come in here looking raggedy and he cuts me up, and man, I feel good walking out of here. So if anyone ever needs a cut, hit up Ambitious Edge Barbershop. You won't be, you'll come out with a good experience. He's real professional. His guys are professional, and takes pride in his work.
I'm paying him to say that. So look, I'm not just gonna have anybody on my podcast. We're gonna, drop knowledge, game. We're gonna come with wisdom and respect. And my boy, he's been working. He's a family man. He's got 3 kids, 2 girls and 1 boy. I cut his little boy's hair too. Was I the first one to cut his hair?
Yeah, you were.
Oh, hey man, we consider family, man. We family. My guy, he's solid. He's a solid one. He's a real one. He's a hard worker. He's very professional. I'm gonna tag his Instagram, so please just hit him up if you guys ever need any electrical work. He's got you, recommended by Ambitious Edge. I'm not gonna put anybody or tag anybody that I don't mess with. That's not credible, But my boy, he's legit, and he's local, man. South Orange County, tap in with him. What's your handle one more time for the people?
Instagram is Capistrano Electric, and my company name is Capistrano Electric. Check me out on my website, capistranoelectric.com. Facebook, Capistrano Electric. You'll find me. Just type in Capistrano Electric.
Would you be down to give them little incentive, just if they shout you out or if they mention the podcast, give them a little little hookup, maybe I don't know, to 10% discount or something for their first job, or something that you want?
Yeah, definitely. If if I win, we're winning. If you recommend me and I get a job and I land it, or if you want work from this podcast, you get 10% off. I'm happy to do that. Get my name out there. You could see what I'm about. I do good work, and you could check my reviews on Yelp. You could check my reviews on my website. Nothing but good things. I take my my job seriously. I'm professional. Professional with my customers. I want them to be satisfied, because if they're not, then it's all word of mouth. If you have a bad rep, then you're not going to be getting work. If you do a good professional job, you're going to get recommended, and it's word of mouth, man. It's just all word of mouth.
All right, so we're getting ready to wrap things up. He's only going to do this special for 5 people. So the first 5 people to hit him up that need electrical work, hit up my boy Capistrano Electric. Alright, so we're gonna tag him, show love, like the video, comment, share it, subscribe to the channel, man. Let's go. Woo! Remember, envision with great precision. Sheesh! Oh, that show was hard, dog.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
You're good, man. You're good.